Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Light at Night podcast. I'm your host, Ed Ferris. And on the second mic, we have Solomon. And on the third mic, we have nobody because Candice didn't show up for work today. Well, I think she's doing something. She's getting a new house.
She's painting a fence or building
She's painting a fence. Okay. Couldn't do the podcast because you're painting a fence. All right.
Hey.
All right, let's prioritize our life here. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey, so before we start, how was your week, buddy?
Pretty good. Looking for a van. That's been fun. Let's see. Oh, I picked my kid up from school the other day, and I sneezed, and I didn't realize it until I got into the van. I was talking to one of the parents. I got into the van. I had a big booger hanging off of my mustache. So, yeah, it's been a good week. But I don't feel bad because her kid threw up on the sidewalk. So, I mean, she was probably a little preoccupied.
She's probably traumatized by that. So, yeah.
Yeah, between the throw up and the snot, yeah. We lost about, if there was anybody that was going to watch this podcast, they just tapped out right there. How about you? How was your week?
Let's look at this new guy working. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to be politically correct here. The guy is something. I mean, okay, for example, I went to a chili place, local chili place, and got some chili, and they usually give crackers if you ask. I was like, hey, can I have a bunch of crackers? I'm going to take it back to my work, and I'm going to put them in our break room type area. So for other people, she's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll hook you up. So she gives me like 10 bags of crackers and throws them in there. I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I come back. I don't eat any of the crackers. I just put them all up in the little shelf area, and go to work. Next day I come back to eat my lunch, and I notice all the crackers are gone, and I see all the wrappers in the trash. I was like, who in the world ate 10 cracker bags? So I'm puzzled, and so after my break, I come and I asked the guys I work with, I was like, hey, did you guys... Not that I care, because I didn't buy them or anything, but I was like, those are for everybody. Have you guys seen what happens to all the crackers? And the new guy's like, oh, yeah. Thank you. Was you the one that got those? I was like, yeah. He's like, I love crackers. I was like, you ate all 10 bags? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I went up there and got some chili too. I was like, you went up there and got chili, and then you ate all the 10 bags. He's like, oh yeah.
That's like a whole meal. I thought maybe he forgot his lunch and he just ate crackers.
No, he apparently got some chili and then he used all 10 bags. I'm like,
nice.
Etiquette.
Yeah.
Work at, I don't know. So that's but that's a difference.
A little bizarre. Yeah. Wow.
So what are we talking about today, Ed?
We're gonna cover a multitude of things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about AI.
Okay.
Not Allen Iverson. You don't even know who Allen Iverson is, do you?
No.
Never mind. All right, we'll move on. He's an NBA player, just like Chris Paul and Charles Barkley. That you bragged that you knew who he was. We're going to talk about. Oh, great. Let's see. What else we're going to talk about? You wanted to talk about the congressman, the
yes.
Zoom meeting congressman.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So you want me to start first, and you can do your
go ahead.
Do your Steven Crowder and your Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about those two gentlemen too.
Okay, so let me see.
Go ahead.
Let me pull up here. So, the writers in Hollywood are striking apparently, and and I guess they're worried about that AI is going to take their jobs. Which I would be worried too, because the writers in Hollywood recently, past 20 years, have sucked. So I'm kind of rooting for this, because if AI does a good job, maybe we'll get some good stories again. And I don't know. Now you're a little bit controversial, not controversial, aggressive with with the AI stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, first we'll talk about the writers. AI.
Yeah.
Do you approve the AI kicking these guys to the curb because they all suck? They can't write a story anymore.
No. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I still no. I mean, even though it's bad and it's probably funded by our government through the CIA and FBI. Hi guys, I know you're watching. Yeah, right. They're not watching this podcast. Even if they wanted to, they probably couldn't get past like the first 30 seconds. They're like, no, they're not a threat to us. But I don't. I'm not for AI taking over.
Yeah.
I saw, Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, and I mean their comedy writers are awful. It's all political now. It's all just. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. It's not funny. The problem that I would have with that is, yes, you may be able to boot those guys out, but then you create an even bigger problem because now you don't have anybody that can be convinced that their comedy is bad and that they need to change. And so it'll just be whatever you put in there. It would be a bad thing.
Well, but Ed, their comedy's been bad ever since their shows have started. And apparently their ratings are terrible from everything I've heard. So, I mean...
Well, and you have to ask yourself, why is it that they're still on TV?
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Because the only funny guy that I liked was, what's his name?
Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson. He cracked me up. It's because he was a little crazy. So... I don't know, but all the other, they're all terrible. They're not funny. And...
Jimmy Kimmel it's like Jimmy Kimmel gets cue cards from the government. They just hand it to him right before the show, and they're just like, say this.
Yes. Here's your talking points.
Yes. Yeah, here's your talking points.
Yeah. I don't know.
1 through 10, and then you're done.
So now, in a broader AI world of taking over, I'm assuming you're really against that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you had sent me some AI generated artwork.
Yeah.
And you had sent it at nighttime, and I woke up and I opened up my message and I was like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
And it upset me because I think people are like, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not art. That's garbage. To me, it's garbage. Yeah. And you may like it, whatever. And you may not see a threat in the whole AI thing, but we're headed down a very dangerous path.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know, because AI taking over like fast food restaurants. Because I've had some ever since the pandemic. There's been this horrendous fast food experiences I've had since the pandemic, and it's like the workers, they really don't care at all, which I understand. It's kind of hard to care about a job when you're getting paid $8 an hour. I get it, but I don't know. I'm thinking if AI took over, like for example, like restaurants, you might get better food.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you may think that the pimple-faced 13-year-old doesn't care about your food, but you know what? Maybe the AI, it doesn't care either. Like,
well, this is true because like if something breaks and like oil is shooting out, they're just going to keep serving out. They don't care.
It's going into the hamburgers and then the ketchup, and you're like, oh, WD-40 is coming out of the ketchup dispenser. I don't care. I have no feelings.
This is true. So, This is true.
Well, okay, so let's talk about like you were talking about fast food, and I know that it can be kind of aggravating, but I go back to, all right, we're going to a fast food restaurant. They are serving us. They're not making very good money.
Yeah.
They're working in conditions where their boss is probably kind of checked out, doesn't really care. Doesn't really care about the conditions of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on there. I went to a restaurant probably about a month ago, and I walked up and I was waiting for somebody to seat me, and he's like, "Oh, we don't have anybody to do that anymore." He said, "Ever since COVID, we haven't been able to get people to come in, and so we just went to kiosks. So there's like 4 big kiosks right there. So now I got a 5-year-old who is ready to eat. She's ready to go sit down. But I got to go through and navigate through all this. Now I have to do all the work. And it's like, I just want to sit down and get my drink and have a conversation with her. But I can't do that because I have to do all the work for myself.
Yeah.
And
well, but the reverse of that is you get seated by a waitress or whatever. And they take your order and they never come back. I've had that experience. So, I mean, my wife and me, we sat down, we ordered a Coke and a water or whatever. She came and she gave us that. And she said, "I'll be right back and I'll take your order down." Okay. 20 minutes, we're waiting. And I'm like, my God. So we just put down the money for the drinks and left. So I don't know.
I think my concern about all of this is to not to go Alex Jones, but we're being replaced by robots eventually. Like it's to that point where, I do the self-checkout sometimes, but I try not to, because there are people out there that this is their job, and this is maybe the only job that they can get. And I'm not talking down about those people. Listen, I have a high school diploma. I don't have a college education. There's a lot of jobs that I will do. And if I had to be a cashier, I would be a cashier. I want those jobs if I need it.
Sure.
I don't want it to be replaced by a kiosk. So I try to kind of support that, because I know that there's people out there that are willing to work and that depend on that.
Yeah.
It's really sad when you go up and you see the cashier and she's like 70 years old and you're like, she's been here for like 8 hours already.
Sure.
And all these people are going and they're going through the self-checkout, and it's just like, and it's all about, I don't have time. It's I'm in a hurry. So I'm going to go through the self-checkout. This is going to take more time. But think about it. Now you don't have social interaction. And it goes back to, we're not talking to each other. We're not seeing each other face to face.
Yeah.
We're ordering stuff online. We're getting stuff delivered to our house. We are slow. We're working from home, and we'll talk about the Zoom meetings. But we're doing all this stuff, and it's like, what are we doing? We're cutting out socialization.
Yeah.
We're cutting out human connection.
Now,
and that's where I see the biggest danger, because once you get to that place, no one is connected, no one's talking to each other, and it's real easy to start taking over. So
now it's funny because you and me are kind of similar as far as that we don't like to hang out with a lot of people. It's funny that you see that as an issue, that we're getting further and further, away from socialization. Because I think the forceful, it's not good for us to be social. I mean, to be away from everybody all the time. I mean, I saw that during the pandemic. I started going nuts. Because I always thought it'd be awesome to be staying home all the time, not to work. But after a month of that, it was kind of terrible. So
yeah.
So
well, and the thing is my life is the way it is, like taking care of kids, and a lot of times I'm just at home and I just have 2 kids with me, and I don't have that human interaction with, they're human, but I don't act like it.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But I don't have adult conversations, so it's nice to go to the store and have a conversation. Just even if it's a hi, how are you? But just face-to-face contact with people, because I think that if you start to get used to not connecting with people, that's a bad place.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of impartial, but I mean, I see what you're saying, the dangers of AI and relying on it, because hopefully they don't put the AI in charge of nukes and stuff, because then we'll have we'll have a legitimate, Terminator type thing happening. So,
Well, what I mean, just in the some of the smaller things that it can do. I saw a news report where this lady got a phone call and it said that her 15-year-old daughter had been kidnapped and they wanted $1 million. Now, what was funny was I don't think this woman. I don't want to say that she wasn't really I mean, obviously, when you get a phone call like that, you're not going to think straight. But they went from $1 million to $50,000 within like 2 minutes. Okay, that's not legitimate.
Yeah.
But it was a deep fake.
Yeah.
And so they had a little clip of the daughter's voice, and they cloned it, and they had her call and say that she had been kidnapped, and she was talking about the ransom and everything. And it's like, wow. I mean, and Tom Brady is suing somebody because they did like a whole comedy set with him.
So some of those deep fakes are scary good.
Yeah, I mean, they are, but it means that they can do that to you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, and also in a bigger picture, I mean, think about starting a war and stuff by you doing a deep fake and making someone say whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, enough about AI. Let's go to something a little bit more lighthearted here. He was a senator, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, from what I read is, because I guess he's also a truck driver, too.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he, I think that's why he called in, because he just got done working till like 4:30 in the morning, being, doing his truck driver thing or whatever, and I guess he called in to do a vote.
Yeah.
But the problem is, his camera was on, and they have a picture of him here, shirtless, and I guess his screensaver for his Zoom is that bill thing. You back in the day, remember that cartoon says, I want to be a bill.
Yeah.
What's that thing called? Anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But so he calls in, does his vote, and so but everyone sees that he's shirtless, casting his vote, and I guess people were kind of giving him a little bit of a flack for it, making memes about him and everything. But hey, at least he's working, and
Yeah, he's a truck driver. He's probably he needs to sleep. It's very important to get your sleep. So, but he's got to do both. It's not like he was doing something weird. He was just shirtless. I think it should be allowed just for the men.
Well, I mean, if you allow the guy in Pennsylvania to walk around like trailer park guy, I mean I mean, if because I think he's from out near Minnesota, I think, not Minnesota.
Yeah.
Was it Minnesota?
The guy that was shirtless. Yeah, the truck driver is from Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're allowing old Fetterman out there in Pennsylvania to look like a bum, I mean, what's it
matter? Yeah, he dresses like me.
Yeah.
Nice hoodie.
What does it matter if the guy comes on shirtless? I mean, hey, whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Just cracking up with a beer.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm not on your schedule.
Yeah. So anyway, those are my two news articles I wanted to talk about. So what would you want to talk about, buddy?
I want to get into Steven Crowder. If no one knows who Steven Crowder is, he has a show. I don't know. It's a podcast, I guess. And
I think it's a podcast. Yeah.
Right-wing conservative. Used to work for Glenn Beck.
Oh, did he used to work for Glenn Beck?
He worked for Glenn Beck, and then he got into a big dispute with Ben Shapiro with the Daily Wire because they offered him just a bunch of money, and then he went on and complained about the contract and everything. But anyway, he I
know that Candace Owens. I wouldn't say that she doesn't like him, but I think their relationship has gone south. And I like Candace Owens. So if Candace Owens' question his, I don't know, his sanity.
Yeah. Well, now she works for the Daily Wire, and she kind of made some comments after that whole contract dispute. And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think she's real fond of him.
Yeah.
But so there was some leaked video. I guess it was from a Ring. I don't know if it was. It was some
Ring.
type of.
Yeah. The Ring
was it a
doorbell.
Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I want to start out by saying that I've been married for 20 years and I've had arguments with my wife. Okay.
Yeah.
And some of them have been heated. We've never, never physical or,
Yeah.
anything like that. But I mean, there's been times where, you get into an argument and you have to leave the room. It's like, we're done. Okay.
Sure.
So I want to start out by saying that I'm not judging him by this argument. And I know that this isn't him completely.
Well, yeah, we don't have the whole story either. I mean,
we don't have the whole story, and so I want to talk about this from an angle of, we seem to think that we should be privy to everybody's personal life because it gets leaked, and these stupid videos of Ring doorbells, all this stuff. It's an invasion of our privacy.
Goes back to your AI argument.
Right, but now what I'll say is this is his fault because he had it installed. Okay, so
yes.
that's his fault. So what I saw on the video was him sitting there, and she was, they were having an argument, and he got pretty aggressive. And she's like 7 or 8 months pregnant at the time in this video.
Yeah.
And it's about going to the store, and he just won't let up.
Yeah.
And he's talking about being a wife worthy, and just, it got weird. And I was like, it's very hard for me to look at this and go, yeah, this guy is, he's a little weird. Like, but then I go, yeah, you know what? But let me be fair. If there was a camera on me all the time, and they caught arguments that I've had, they could say the same thing. Like, this guy, what's going on? So,
yeah. I mean, like I said, we don't know the whole story, the whole argument, what's happening here, because obviously there's other issues happening.
Yes.
But yeah, him saying put on some gloves. Go walk the dogs.
Right.
I thought was weird, especially since, like you said, she's like 7, 8 months pregnant, and he's just sitting there smoking a cigar.
But with twins. She's
Yeah.
not just pregnant with one baby; she got 2 babies in her.
Yeah.
And I know from experience, I was never pregnant with twins, but my wife was. And let me tell you, when they get to like 8 months, man, their whole body is just in pain. And there's no way. Like I told my wife, I said, you go sit down. I will do I had to tell her not to do certain things.
Well, in the video, doesn't his wife say that she's going to go to the store or something? Or is it she's going to the store, and he's like, put on some gloves and take the dogs out for a walk while he's sitting there smoking a cigar. I'm thinking, what the... If I told my wife that...
there's an element of that I don't think we would even get into that conversation. Like, my wife would have already walked out. Like, that would have been... No. But the thing is she starts to exit this conversation. She says, I'm done. She starts to go into the house, and he follows her in.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, that type of personality is, I don't like that. Because it's like, that is a person's boundary. They are telling you, I'm done. I'm going into the other room. I don't want to talk about this anymore. We'll talk when we're not so, worked up.
Sure.
And he goes in, and who knows what happens after that. But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, we see one leaked little thing about him, and now there's a perception of him, and I can't tell you whether or not he's this type of person all the time.
Yeah.
Or if he's somebody totally different, he was just having a bad day and he said things that. So that's the thing. I mean, it kind of goes back to the AI thing. we're constantly being recorded, and we're under a microscope. So,
well,
yeah,
because Steven Crowder kind of reminds me of the other guy. I can't think. He always is holding his cell phone up, and he's going into like crowds of Antifa people, or just. I can't think the guy's name.
Is his last name Stein?
Yeah, Stein 99 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say it's. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I don't know, but I mean, people that go in there and they're purposely. I don't know if they're trying to start. Well, they are. I mean, they're purposely going into a fire, going to a wasp nest, stirring up something, and people that do that, because Steven Crowder does that. He goes to colleges and he does debate me type things and stuff like that.
Yeah, changed my mind.
Yeah, I don't know those type of personalities. I mean, because you're not going to, you hardly ever win those type of arguments anyway. Because if someone's set on a topic that they believe in, you hardly ever change their mind. So
no, and I think, and I'm not a real big fan of him, but Ben Shapiro is one of those guys that can actually go in and at least lay out an argument for what he's talking about. I mean, he comes and he's well prepared and very intelligent, but Yeah.
The only debaters that I like, and I can't believe I'm saying this now, because the younger Solomon would have actually be like, "What is your problem?" I used to, I could not stand Bill Maher. Bill Maher now is actually to me can actually do a good debate now. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I remember because I was always kind of a fan of Bill Maher, not so much for his politics, but there's something about Bill Maher. Bill Maher is definitely one of those guys that
Bill Maher's funny too. I mean,
I disagree with him on pretty much 70% of the politics.
Yeah.
But there are some things I agree with him on. But Bill Maher is definitely somebody I could sit down and have dinner with because he's funny.
Yeah.
He's actually smart. But he has some goofy ideas.
Yeah.
But he's also like, he can sit there and go, "No, this it doesn't make any sense. Like this is stupid."
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like about him.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
So speaking about somebody else that's very controversial, old Tucker Carlson.
Now, I will tell you that Tucker Carlson, I think he worked for MSNBC before.
Oh, did he?
And this was back in I want to say like early, mid 2000s. And he used to wear a bow tie. And I have yes. And I have a stance on bow ties. Little boys can wear bow ties. It's cute. It's
Yeah.
Kids going to prom. You wear a bow tie? Cool. Once you become a grown man and you wear a bow tie, you are now a weirdo. Like you're a weirdo. Stop wearing the bow tie because to me what it says is I'm trying to get you to lower your defenses because I'm going to wear a goofy little bow tie.
Yeah.
And the moment I see that, I'm like, nope, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Now, with Tucker Carlson, he used to wear a bow tie when he was on MSNBC, and I was like, I couldn't listen to him.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy, I don't trust him. He goes over to Fox News, and I don't watch Fox News.
I don't either.
I would occasionally go on and watch Tucker Carlson, and I like Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah, he's funny too. Yeah.
But Tucker Carlson, I started to notice him probably about 2017. He was actually a guest on Alex Jones's show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then he got the job with Fox.
Yeah.
And anytime I would tune in, I was like, oh, he's saying something that is opposite of all of the other people, even on his own network.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's not going to last very long. And, he ended up getting fired. Now, the thing with Tucker Carlson is, I think he's had kind of an exit plan for a while because he's been building I think Fox actually built him a studio.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already kind of set for that next step.
Sure.
But again, this goes back to the whole technology AI thing. There's leaked emails, there's leaked video. It's all this stuff, and you're trying to build this perception of who Tucker Carlson is, and it's like, well, who is he? Like, is he Is he a good guy? Is he? And you look at all these leaked videos, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't see anything that's really that bad. And maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen the. I think I've seen a couple, but apparently there's racist messages they got. Apparently, I don't know. I've not seen those, so I can't really say one way or the other on that. But
there was something to the effect of, I think there was like 3 white guys that were fighting somebody, and he said something like, "That's not how white guys fight," something to that effect. That's not a direct quote, but yeah.
So you okay? Anyway.
So what you're saying is that you support a racist? No, I mean I like Tucker
Carlson.
No. I don't have a big problem with him, but I did say that I do have a little bit of a problem because I found out that his dad worked for one of the I think it was the CIA.
Yeah.
And that's concerning. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Anytime there's anytime the FBI and CIA is involved, but anytime mainstream media is always a big concern. So
yeah, and it's weird. People that end up having parents that work in the,
it's almost like it was planned.
Yeah. Because didn't David Hogg, remember David Hogg?
That guy? Oh, yeah.
I think one of his parents worked for the either the CIA or the FBI.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of weird.
Paid shills of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, there's paid shills of the Republican Party, so I don't know.
It's awful. Yeah. The one guy with the eye patch.
That guy? Yeah, I can't stand that guy.
Oh, he's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he's
yeah, some of the things that he's in trouble for.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend hours talking about Democrats and Republicans I cannot stand. So maybe we should do a whole show about this. I was complaining about the different Republicans and Democrats. I mean, we could do a whole show about that.
Just the goofiness of them. They're all goofy. They're so goofy. There's a couple of guys that, on both sides, there's guys that you're like, oh yeah, and women, that you're like, yeah, I could agree with some of the stuff, but then they're goofy, and I'm like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell will be the first. We will be the top guy. That guy. Yeah.
He's like watching paint dry.
And then who's his clone on the Democratic Party? Chuck Schumer. That's it. Yeah.
Chuck Schumer. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Candy probably get mad at us if we start making this about a political show here. But you know what? She's not here today, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't show up for work, you don't get a say. All right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you're painting a fence or whatever you're doing.
Building a pond or.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are we done? Did you want to talk about anything else? Because I have no more news articles to bring up.
No, I think that's it for today.
All right. Well,
thank you for listening to the Light Podcast.